Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel Roseology. So today's video we are talking all about the new moon happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and this will be occurring December 14th, 2020. I'm also going to be discussing what is occurring a week after, just a week later, with the great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, and as well as I also have a pick a card in this video to see a little bit more in depth what the next 2 weeks has in store for you personally and collectively. So we're diving into a lot today. I'm going to try to keep this video as short and sweet as possible, just kind of getting to the point here. As well as let me just go on ahead and say, no, I am not taking personal readings at this time. I do not have social media. And is that it? Oh yeah, that's right. If you know exactly why you're here, then you can head down to the description or the pinned comment section for the different timestamps to different points and topics. And before we get started, let me also say to you guys too, since this is the end of 2020, it's crazy. I can remember like it was yesterday when 2020 first started. It went by so fast, but just thank you guys so much for making this year, which was a doozy for all of us collectively. Thank you guys for making it such a beautiful year for me. It was such a evolutionary year, a challenging year, but it was still very beautiful. I know that I do this all the time with you guys, but I literally cannot convey in enough words just how much of an impact you guys have had on my life. Like a positive impact. It's been amazing. Let's just get started. Oh yeah, and astrologically, I'm going to be looking at the tropical chart. Okay, so when I'm talking about the astrological chart for this new moon and this great conjunction, I'm looking at tropical astrology. Okay, so a new moon happens when the sun and moon are in conjunction with each other, and conjunction just means that two luminary celestial bodies or planets are sitting particularly close to each other, like within around 8 degrees or so, makes a conjunction. Okay, so this is kind of when the properties of both of these planets or celestial objects, they kind of combine and they mix together. So that's what we're dealing with when we have a new moon. I've just got my chart up on my iPad here that I am looking at, but basically Venus is in the very late degrees of Scorpio for this new moon, right? And if we were looking at Sagittarius's chart, which is how I like to look at the new and full moons, because we are currently in the season of Sagittarius, that is where the sun is currently placed. So I'm looking at Sagittarius's chart, but this is going to apply to all signs, doesn't matter what sign you are. But looking at Sagittarius's chart, this Venus in the sign of Scorpio is happening in Sagittarius's 12th house. Okay, and so this can deal with fear of rejection or being devalued. It can also deal with the processing of these fears. That the way we can kind of wipe them out of our system and out of our being. And that the way we can focus on the road ahead, because it's very difficult to focus on where we're going when we are so trapped up in all of these fears from the past or fears of what could happen or what might happen. It's very difficult to move forward when you are scared with every single step that you take. So like I said, we are processing these fears, that the way we can sort of reinstate ourselves as the sole judge of how we feel, what we feel, and why we feel what we feel. This is really setting up the atmosphere here for us to realize how strong or fragile our opinion is versus other people's opinions. Like, am I still going to value this or love that or want to do this or that if the world doesn't agree with it? This is mainly because of Venus sextiling Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto while trining Chiron in the sign of Aries. Chiron's currently in the sign of Aries. So this can manifest as others not being able to see your vision. So you could have like a great idea that other people, they just simply can't see the vision. Maybe you think something is funny while someone else thinks it's highly offensive. So with this new moon in Sagittarius, what I really kind of want to say is to watch out right now for those that may be punishing you in a sense, or it seems like they're punishing you because you are choosing to walk in your purpose or to at least walk towards it. And the reason that this message is kind of coming through, because with Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius is the sign that is ruled by Jupiter. and it rules the ninth house. And when we deal with Jupiter, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, magnification, amplification. Basically, Jupiter is a lot like the World card, where all these different pieces of the puzzle just come together. They fit together, and it's that moment of resonance. So I've always described Jupiter and Sagittarius on my channel as they operate on the frequency of resonance. So that's what resonance is, where it's just like it makes sense to your soul, your spirit. Sagittarius as well is the constellation that in our solar system is actually pointing towards the center of our galaxy. So this is all about things kind of coming back to the origin. It's all about, no matter how far it is that I've walked down this path or this road, I still am connected back to this origin, this place of start, this place of beginning, where everything just makes sense. So, it's like that feeling or that saying where people go, if this wouldn't have happened or that wouldn't have happened, then I'd never be where I'm at today. And so very many of us in the collective are feeling very drawn to my path, my purpose. What is it? Like, this is something that I want to walk towards, and I want to put my efforts and my energy into something that feels like it's bigger than me. So what I wrote down for this new moon actually is many of us in the collective are at the beginning of a major exodus in our lives, and as well as like this collective construct in a sense. Roads are sort of splitting like this, and this is because of the group of people that are answering their highest calling or are interested in it or open to it, and the ones that are clearly resisting it, or maybe they think that they're doing it, but they're resisting when it comes to the hard work of it. And for the people that have refused their purpose, they may have been some of your most challenging obstacles this year of 2020. And so with this new moon in Sagittarius, it is really exposing everybody's true colors and truest intentions. And I mean everyone, like yours, mine's, everyone's getting exposed, okay? No one's going to be able to hide, because this is necessary in order for people to know who and what they're dealing with. And in order for us to know where we're going, we have to know who is around us, what is around us, what we are partaking in, what we are consuming. The truth has to be exposed, and the truth is a really hard shakeup. It's like getting shaken down. It is legit a tower moment. There's going to be a massive transformation in how we see what we used to call important or necessary or valuable or useful or beautiful. There's going to be a major overhaul in those things that we used to really hold in high regards. And so things that we used to see as maybe challenging are going to be things that we actually want to invite into our lives now, or we may actually see it as a blessing in disguise. There's a lot of blessings that are being exposed where it's like, oh, you were a blessing in disguise this whole time. And there's a lot of things that we considered a blessing that we may start to kind of view as like, this is a bit challenging, or this is a bit more of a nuisance than I actually expected. There's a lot of colors revealing itself. It's not that the consciousness is like a stair step. It's more like a spiral. And it's like this circle that we go in, where we have this stage of awakening, completely enlightened, the golden age, and then we have this stage where we go to sleep. And so it's not that it's a stair step and we're just getting somewhere. It's a cycle. That's exactly what we're doing. We are recycling the cycle. So I am predicting this massive transformation in what it is that we call healthy, good, attractive, valuable, beautiful, necessary, powerful, successful, whatever that may be. The way that we sort of saw things is getting this complete overhaul. I don't necessarily believe that this is like the end of the world or anything. I think this is just the start of a complete new cycle. So many of us have been forced to acknowledge these grave differences between ourselves and the people and the surroundings around us. And progression simply just does not align with recession. And so there's like this push-pull resistance sort of dance that a lot of us have been doing in 2020, trying to hold on to these relationships and hold on to these people, trying to get them to come along with us, trying to get them to raise their consciousness, raise their vibration. It doesn't matter if this is family, if this is a romantic partner, your children, just random people that you don't know on the internet or just out in public. There's been this like it's like two bulls just like locking horns and like, hey, come over to this side because this side is greener, this side is better, this is where you want to be, this is where you need to be. I would personally say, stop trying to save people. Me personally, I'm not in the business of saving people. Yes, I believe in spirituality, astrology, things like that, but I do not believe in saving people. You have to want to save yourself, because I was there a few years ago, back in 2016. I didn't want to be saved, and I damn sure did not want anybody trying to save me. People have to make these decisions on their own. This is why 2020 was sort of a shifting point for very many people. So a lot of people that may have been struggling, may have been winning in 2020. 2020 did not come here to set everybody down. 2020 came here for some people to win their asses off. And a lot of people have. It might not be as reported as much, but a lot of people have actually, this has been one of their best years. Not everybody's been suffering throughout 2020. And so, like I said, progression does not align with recession. We have to learn how to just let some people figure it out for themselves. This is exactly what the universe is doing. You figure it out for yourself. And so we can't save everyone. And I know it's really hard for sensitives. I know it's so hard for empaths. I know it's hard for my light workers, the people out there that are just like, no, especially when it comes to your loved ones and your family. It is hard to leave those relationships behind, or it's hard to just say, okay, you figure it out for yourself. We want to help our loved ones and we want to help strangers. Some people just have such big hearts that they want to even help strangers and they get nothing out of it. And it's a thankless job, but we can't help everyone. Some people they're gonna hear and they're gonna resonate with what you're saying. Others aren't. And so it's like everyone has been presented with these options because you only have a few options here. Either you evolve, or you stay still, or you regress. There's no other options here. And so everyone is being presented with these same options. And it's kind of like the universe is allowing all of us to sort of view each other's like medical history, but it's like instead of medical history, we're looking at each other's like conscious records. We're looking at each other's like sort of like spiritual or vibrational records where it's like, I get to read your truth, and your essence to you at your core, who you are at your core. It's very easy to sense people at their core at this point in time, especially with this new moon. So I'm seeing the end of 2020 being the start of this major exodus. People sort of splitting from people that had been in their lives and then coming together with new people in their lives. And I know it's a pandemic, okay? I know it's a pandemic, but there are other ways to connect with people versus like some sort of physical connection. And with this pandemic, 2020 has forced a lot of us to get creative in terms of how it is that we connect to people and connect to different things. And that was the point of 2020. 2020 was trying to come here and say, hey, I want you to connect on a different level, not the superficial bullshit anymore that many of us were doing. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Many of us were connecting to some superficial shit, and that is why so many different people's relationships did not work out this year. It is not to say that we failed in any way, shape, or form. It's just to say that, hey, you require a deeper connection because you are a deeper being. You have a deeper soul. So somebody really has to see you. They have to really speak to you in order for that connection to be valid, in order for that connection to survive. Like I said, if you are somebody, but progression does not work with recession. If you are somebody that is a deep soul, a deep spirit, a deep being, you're not going to be able to connect with somebody that is superficial. You're not going to be able to connect with somebody that's just worried about the next pair of shoes that they can get from, I don't know, like the Yeezy line or something. I don't know, but it's not going to work. That's not going to work. You guys have these different priorities in life, and not just even in life, but even in your own mental awareness. So we've been forced to realize which connections were superficial and which ones have been actual food and substance and nutrients for our soul. Now, there's another thing here too that is kind of happening, and this is us dealing with a lot of skepticism. So I mentioned this months ago, I want to say at least 6 or 7 months ago, with Neptune being retrograde in its own sign of Pisces, its native sign of Pisces, that this was going to be causing a war on information. And that war on information was going to trickle to the microcosm where we start to have almost a war with our own beliefs. If you're not grounded, and if you don't know how to ground yourself, it's very easy to sort of get caught up in all of this different misinformation, all these different theories, all these different ideas, all these different thoughts and opinions. There's so much going on. And so, there's a lot of skepticism. The skeptic is really being poked at right now. And, skepticism is natural. It just comes from us wanting to calculate the risks of a certain choice or an action. And that's completely natural. It's actually something that's very healthy for the being. Again, you want balance. You don't want something that's just like you're always a skeptic or you're never questioning anything. Both of those situations are unhealthy. We're having to do a lot of work to see exactly what is the truth and what isn't the truth. And even when we discover the truth, there's still these little nuances where it's like, Does that fit? Does that work? Does that make sense? You know, there's still all these kind of questions in a sense. It's not really like this for sure thing, not yet anyways. So this new moon is squaring Neptune and is trining Mars. So again, this is something that you feel may be necessary. You may feel some sort of connection or resonance with something, but dealing with this square between the new moon and Neptune was already causing a lot of war and information in the first place. So combined with this new moon happening, and it's squaring off with this new moon, and that'll be sort of ending 2020, this is causing that square friction energy or resistance with the changes that you would have to make in order to pursue what it is that you are resonating with. So let's say that you're resonating with, like, you know what? I'm no longer resonating with this job. I'm resonating with something completely different. Best believe that this square aspect here is going to cause some friction or resistance in you pursuing this new path. And it doesn't mean that it's wrong. This is what I'm saying. A lot of things are going to look and feel wrong, but they're not. A lot of things are going to look and feel right, but they're totally wrong. This is why there is such a intense war on information, not just what we're getting bombarded with in the collective, but also within our own being. So this is major High Priestess card in reverse, which she has been coming up a lot lately, as I've just been shuffling cards for the collective over the last few weeks. Now, we need to talk about these squares here because this new moon has so many different squares, you guys. This new moon, Sun, Moon, and Mercury are all going to be squaring Neptune. Mars is going to be squaring Jupiter as well as Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be squaring Uranus. Pluto is squaring Mars. Neptune is squaring the North Node and the South Node. There's a lot of different square energy going on here. So there's a lot of kind of resistant energy when we're dealing with the square. So there's nothing to fear when we're dealing with square aspects. It's considered a hard aspect, but not a bad aspect. Nothing is considered necessarily bad in astrology or spirituality, right? And when we're dealing with a square in astrology, it's kind of like arthritis in a sense, you know? So when you have arthritis, it's like that fluid that is usually traveling between those joints, it dissipates, and then those joints end up kind of rubbing together, right? And it's extremely painful because it's not supposed to happen. And geometry has a lot to do with measuring and understanding the universe. And so a perfect shape is a 360-degree circle. It's completely aligned with itself, creating this infinite loop of energy that knows itself, it understands itself, right? And a square has these jagged edges in it that causes energy, which is normally flowing beautifully in a 360-degree circle. That square kind of causes energy to stop abruptly and pivot in these different directions, and it's kind of abrupt, and it's like it's an interruption basically in energy. Let's say you figure out, like, you know what, I'm no longer feeling called to this job. I realize that my purpose is in a completely different direction. A square aspect can actually be the catalyst that causes enough tension to open up the opportunity for you to leave your old job and to go in a completely different direction. So this great conjunction, I've been hearing so many people talk about it all year, and I never really looked into it myself because I was just like, yeah, whatever. I just kind of thought it was just like this other thing that people were just talking about. And I finally looked at the chart for it a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, this is a pretty big fucking deal. Like, I get it now. So Jupiter is very swollen, abundant, amplified energy, like we talked about earlier, right? Saturn is much like one of those resistance bands that you use to work out. Or you can see Saturn as very concentrated, focused energy because it rules Capricorn as well as it co-rules Aquarius. But Saturn, I feel like, really comes through expressed in Capricorn energy, then it sort of carries over into Aquarius energy, which we'll be talking about in a few moments here. But basically, Saturn is a planet that is known to rule discipline, challenges, and fears. It is all about karma. It is all about you reap what you sow, you get what you put in. So basically, Saturn is it's that tough, loving father that says, if you want to lose weight, put down the fucking fast food. If you want to be successful, get your ass to work. If you want to be whatever it is that you want out of life, you need to put in that work for it. Saturn does not understand anything else except for blood, sweat, and tears and hard ass work. So there's no excuses when it comes to Saturn. He doesn't care about a fear. He doesn't care about an insecurity. He doesn't care about a challenge. Saturn is crazy. He is crazy. And for my Capricorns out there, my Aquarius is out there, y'all got a little bit of a crazy streak. I don't know why no one ever picks this up with Capricorn. Capricorn is slightly crazy because it's like they just completely go against reality. It's just like, yeah, I see a brick wall right there. I'm just gonna run through it. Like, wait, what? How are you gonna do that, Capricorn? When we combine Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter, who's very expansive energy, and Saturn, who's very concentrated energy, coming together, it's like this collectively felt experience that's also extremely personal. So it's this really poignant alignment between the macrocosm and the microcosm. So there could be some sort of like change in power when it comes to governments. And this definitely could be happening throughout all of 2021 as well. We actually just had this happen in America because we just had the election. What was it, November 3rd, I believe? We actually had a transference of power where it went from Republican White House to a Democratic one now. This current president is playing into that war on information where it's like, he's just using all this misinformation to kind of spread all these fires everywhere, so that the way there's not this easy transition of power. But again, this is that Saturn energy playing out. This is just Saturn's energy. Saturn does not specialize in smooth operations. It's just how it works. It's all about getting dirty, blood, sweat, and tears. This conjunction happens every 20 years, by the way. So the last one that we had was in the year 2000. But this conjunction is extremely rare because of how closely these planets are going to align. And they are going to align as closely as 0.1 degrees. Very, very close. And on the 21st, and what this is actually going to form is something called a Christmas star. And it's like these two luminaries come together to create this like very bright looking, luminous, huge star. That's what it looks like anyways. And basically this Christmas star occurrence phenomena has not happened in nearly 800 years. And we've been having a lot of rare occurrences happening in 2020, like that comet that came through earlier this year. I forget its name. I'll leave it in the description, but that comet that came through earlier this year around March, that we hadn't seen in the last 6,000 or 7,000 years. And this will all be happening at the very start of Aquarius, at 0 degrees in the sign of Aquarius, to kick off this next age of Aquarius. And this is actually going to be a 3-planet conjunction when this does happen, because technically Pluto will be conjuncting Saturn and Jupiter on the 21st, but Pluto is still in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign of government, structures, systems, constructs, and is also ruled by Saturn. So there's still this heavy Capricorn Saturn energy playing out. And Pluto is the planet of death, transformations, influence, power, secrecy, manipulation, control, the darkness, right? Because Pluto is the furthest planet from our sun in the solar system. So it's the darkest planet. We really don't know what goes on with Pluto. We don't know what happens with it. So there is a huge possibility of a transference of power happening in other parts of the world that kind of gets kicked off on December 21st in some way. And it's more than likely going to get kicked off in a way where the collective is not aware of it. So this is something that's going to be happening within the 1% that we are completely unaware of. And it sort of gets kicked off in a way, or it plays out on this like sort of global stage where we all are dealing with the fallout or seeing the fallout of it, but we don't necessarily know what started it. We don't necessarily know why it's happening. Kind of like with this pandemic, we have no clue where it came from, but it's affecting the world, right? How are cars so loud? Now, for some reason too, another thing that keeps coming to me with this conjunction that's happening is that we need to prepare collectively to deal with a new form of mental health. I don't really know how to describe it, but there's something here that's coming up with a lot of mental health, like this new wave of mental health awareness, or some sort of mental health issue that gets kind of brought to the forefront. I don't know. There's something here that we're not aware of that can affect us mentally. I don't really know how to describe this, but I just see something affecting the mind or the brain. There's something that's gonna affect us mentally that we hadn't really maybe been aware of before. We didn't notice it before, and we're gonna be hyper aware of it moving into 2021. But a huge blessing, you guys, that I am seeing with this chart, and this right here has me, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so basically what I'm seeing is your descendants coming through so strongly, just as strong as your ancestors. For those of you that have been doing, I got goosebumps. For those of you that have been doing ancestral work, karmic work, things like that, trying to heal your family karma, your family history, keep doing what you're doing, because you're not only strengthening and healing your ancestral line, but you're also strengthening and healing the generations that are yet to come. Whether you have physical children or not, there are going to be descendants connected, directly connected to your blood in some way, shape, or form, right? So it could be some sort of distant relative that you are completely unaware of that shares your blood in some way that ends up having children, and you end up becoming one of their ancestors. But I'm even seeing our descendants, your descendants, come in as guides in a sense. And what they are doing is they are working on the spiritual realm. This is a complete conjunction between the ancestral realm and the descendant realm. So this is those that have come before us and the ones that have not been here yet, that are coming after us. And they are aligning to really form this protection and really help enlighten us. And I'm seeing that so strongly in this chart, as well as with 2021. And I have a pick a card reading coming out towards the end of this month, where I'm going to go through I'm going to break down every single month of the year for 2021, and I'll have a pick a card for that coming out in the next couple of weeks. But what I'm really seeing, so we're going to dive into a lot more of that, but what I'm really seeing is your descendants coming in so strong. Like, you are strengthening. You probably don't even know it. You're probably completely unaware of it, but you're really strengthening them. And if you have gotten this sort of same message, please leave it in the comments, because this is just, it blew my mind when I saw this. So definitely, you guys, please keep going, because that's another thing that this Jupiter and Saturn conjunction will be kicking off, is this just like heavy, there's going to be a lot of messages that you receive, like from your spiritual team, where, how we have like ancestral altars. You may even want to some way find a way to incorporate some sort of, maybe like an altar or a space where you can pray for your descendants. I know my mom, she talks about this all the time, how she's like, I know I won't be here to see my great grandchildren and things like that, or great grandchildren, but she was like, I've been praying for them for years, even though I will never meet them. And it is works like that spiritual work like that, where you are just pouring into these babies and children and humans that you're never going to meet, they're feeling this already on the spiritual realm, and they are coming through to assist you right now in your life. And so they're gathering around just like the ancestors are. And this is really, really incredible. Now, another thing that we need to talk about with this Jupiter and Saturn conjunction moving into the sign of Aquarius, because this is another thing that we have to cover, is Aquarius is the sign, comes directly after Capricorn. Capricorn, like we talked about, the mascot is the goat getting all the way to the top of that mountain. After that little goat gets all the way to the top of that mountain, he has to start his descent. Okay. And that is basically what Aquarius is. Aquarius is when that goat is getting off that mountain and he's like, damn, I'm tired. I am wiped. I'm beat. I'm exhausted. So Aquarius comes through as a water bearer, right? And if you notice, Aquarius also rules the star card in tarot, and she is holding what? She's holding 2 jugs of water. And so this water bearer, when we look at water and spirituality, it's all about cleansing you. It's all about your spirit. And so Aquarius is basically the sign that says, I've been there, I've seen it all, and I've done it all. And this is what makes Aquarius so wise, is how seasoned it is when it comes to its experiences. And before you get started talking about, I know plenty of Aquariuses and they are assholes or they are immature as hell. I'm not talking about the Aquariuses that you know, okay? I'm talking about Aquarius energy, because those Aquariuses that you know, they have a whole chart with a lot of different things going on. This is Aquarius energy that we're looking at from a higher perspective, okay? The star card in tarot, she also has 2 jugs of water that she's pouring out as she's naked, and she comes directly after what? The Tower card, where she's just gone through, she's seen it all. She was at the top of that tower at one point, and then she survived the destruction, the falling of that tower. And so those 2 pots of water is her way of her cleansing herself from the previous events that she encountered with the fall of that tower in the Tower card. Since she has been stripped of everything from her identity and ego all the way down to her clothes even. She washes herself as a way of like baptizing this new beginning that she's about to embark on, where she is tasked with building another tower even after surviving the crash of the last one. It's like surviving a plane crash and then getting right back on a plane to get home. You know what I mean? It's like the balls that the star card has to have in order to say, yes, this horrible thing happened. I barely survived it, but hey, I'm getting right back up and I'm building that tower. And this time I'm actually going to build it even higher. And she knows that she has to keep going. So she takes this moment as she is getting back up. And that's why she's seen as kneeling. She's taking this moment of getting back up to pause and rest and reflect and to maybe even think a little bit of what went wrong. How can I avoid this for the next time? But for the moment, most of the, when we're dealing with Aquarius energy, it's all about, hey, I need a damn breath first. Let me take a breath before I get back to it. So Aquarius is this much needed break. So Saturn in Aquarius, like I said, is native to the sign Aquarius. So he is in his own backyard basically. And he's like this starch reminder of the task that we have lying ahead. He is this strong, invisible feeling or reminder of, hey, don't get too comfortable. We still have work to do. Don't take too long to get back up, star card. You still have another tower to rebuild. And so Jupiter, the planet of amplification, magnification, is coming through and is exasperating this moment of relief. He's bringing this gift of a much needed moment to just pause and breathe. So it will manifest differently for everyone in the collective, obviously, because this energy is hitting a different part or a different sector of your chart and of your own personal life. And plus, we all have our own ways of dealing with these different energies, right? With Jupiter being the planet of expansion in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules the collective. It is a sign of the collective. This relief is going to be felt in some way by everyone. But the thing is, though, is that it's going to be temporary relief because Saturn is going to be present in the sign of Aquarius for an extra year and a half longer than Jupiter. So he will hold that awareness of what it is that comes next and what is expected of us. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about here that's kind of making things a bit sticky or difficult is, again, Uranus and Taurus. So I talked about this a few months ago and I was like, Uranus and Taurus is the reason why all these changes have been so difficult, is Uranus being in this fixed earth sign of Taurus. So Taurus is kind of like the mummification process. It wants to preserve something in its most natural, beautiful, youthful state because it values history and tradition. Now, Uranus is the planet of disruption, chaos, turbulence. I've always described Uranus as a trailblazer and a trend setter because he does his own thing and he does not like to be moved. He doesn't like to be, he doesn't like to be influenced because he is his own influencer, okay? So he does his own thing. He's very quirky, very strange, very weird. No one can ever figure out what Uranus is doing or is going to do next. And so this type of unpredictable energy in the sign of Taurus that likes to predict every damn thing, I saw this when Uranus first went into Taurus. I saw it as a good thing, and I still see it as a good thing. Uranus in the sign of Taurus is causing turbulence as a mean to try and pry tradition out of Taurus's clutches. I mean, this is like Four of Pentacles. Haha, you gotta be quicker than that. You can't, like this is Taurus just holding on to these Four of Pentacles saying like, no, I don't care. This is what I stick to. This is what I've decided. This is what I'm doing. I am not giving this up for any damn one. And so Uranus is a very slow moving planet. It takes around 7 years for Uranus to get through an entire sign. So, Uranus is really working on Taurus, and it's doing it in a way where it's a little patient with Taurus in a sense because it moves so slowly. But like I said, Uranus is all about unpredictability. You don't really know what it's going to do. What it's almost doing is it's almost converting, or it's almost turning Taurus out in a sense. Now I want random things to happen. Now I don't want to know what's going to happen. So eventually that's going to be Taurus's new normal, where it's like, I'm still Four of Pentacles, holding on to things, but what I'm holding on to now is unpredictability. Now what I'm holding on to is change. This is all happening to help Taurus see the value and beauty that is also in change. Something that Taurus really has to kind of learn and see for itself in order to respect it. So change has to basically earn the respect of Taurus for Taurus to be willing to let go. So, there is it has to be an even trade-off here for Taurus to see the point in letting go. So this is kind of a very transactional time time for Taurus. You may be somebody that's very okay and comfortable with change, but there is that one place or aspect or department in your life where you like doing things on your own schedule, your own time, your own routine, and at your own pace. Taurus loves moving at its own pace. And wherever that is where you're going to see the most shakeups in your life. Because like I said, it's trying to get you to pry that construct loose in your head that you're holding on so tightly to. So let me just see here what cards I get for us collectively. Let me move my iPad. Yeah, first card that flipped out, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, you guys. This is the first card that came out. It's a Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely a huge switch up in plans. There's a lot of us have been experiencing just a really big switch up in plans. The things that we saw working out for ourselves is just, it's not happening anymore. And I know how scary that can be, how difficult that can be. And then we have here Seven of Pentacles came out. I know how scary and difficult that can be when it comes to switching up plans that you had set in stone, almost in a sense, where you just didn't think that things were going to change. And it's like everything changed. Everything changed. And then with the Seven of Pentacles that came out right after, it's like, well, now what do I do with this? Now I have to plant these seeds. I didn't prepare for these seeds. I didn't prepare for these plants to be planted. You know, I didn't prepare for that. King of Swords in reverse. Yes, exactly. This is feeling very out of control because the plan has switched. The ideas have switched. So this is kind of collectively what I'm looking at over the next couple of weeks here. There may be some really, really big changes in your life as far as your plans, what your plans are. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. So this could be causing a little bit of feeling like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? Ace of Swords, having to really think on the fly, improvise. We're going to have to really think on the fly. Underneath the deck, look at that, Five of Cups. We're going to have to really think on the fly and improvise in terms of what it is that comes next. And for very many of us, this is not about planning what comes next. Ten of Swords in reverse just fell out. This very, very good. Very, very good thing. This is as bad as it gets. This is just, it's just not what we had planned. And I forget what I was just saying, but basically, yeah, this is not what we had planned. We are looking at what we lost with this Five of Cups. We're really looking at what we lost. This was underneath the deck, but I'm not done shuffling. I still want to get some more cards. We're really looking at what we lost and not what we have in front of us. We're looking at the plans that we lost and not necessarily the fact that, wow, now I have this blank canvas where I can do whatever the hell I want to do. There's a lot of freedom that is coming with your plans being disrupted. It's a very good thing, but you have to be able to train your eyes to see the good in this. And obviously, too, I'm going to get two cards just came out. The Devil in reverse. There's so many reversals here. The Devil in reverse. And what is this one? Four of Cups. Yeah, again, this is just like, we're gonna have to, that's what's making us feel trapped, is the fact that we are just harping on, we're pouting, but I wanted it like this, but I wanted it like that, but this is what I asked for, but this is what I, you know, and it's like, no, plans are switching up. Oh shit, I just realized this is actually something that just happened in my own personal life. Damn. So this was like when you're doing a general reading and it hits personally. Obviously I'll get a different view so that the way you guys can see all the cards that I'm looking at here. But what I have here right now, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, Seven of Pentacles upright, King of Swords in reverse, Eight of Swords, Ace of Swords, Five of Cups, Four of Cups, Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Devil in reverse so far. And then the Eight of Wands underneath the deck. Again, so we're just looking underneath the deck again. So yeah, you guys, this is, there's going to be a lot of plans switching up. I just realized that this actually just happened in my own personal life. But this is in the sense, like I said too, because these were places that we weren't moving in. We weren't ready to move in. We were just kind of trying to, Four of Pentacles, hold on to it. Four of Cups, hold on to what it is that we wanted. But I want it this way and I want it that way. And the universe is trying to say, just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. This is so much better. You know, it's kind of like when a parent tells a child, like, no, you can't eat more candy tonight because you're not gonna be able to fall asleep or something like that. And the kid doesn't realize that, okay, you're trying to save my teeth you're trying to save me from getting cavities. You're trying to save me from getting on your damn nerves for the rest of the night. It's like, there has to be this trust between us and the universe, where the universe is like, listen, we are looking out for you. We do have your best and most highest interest in mind here. It's at the forefront of the universe's mind. Law of mentalism is at the forefront of the universe's mind. And the universe is saying, we are doing this for your highest and greatest good. It's just that we have to do it like this. And so there's a lot changing up very quickly over the next 2 weeks for a lot of us. This is a general reading. This is for the collective. Knight of Swords. This is just feeling, Knight of Swords I'm actually getting here is confusion. I'm actually picking up confusion with this Knight of Swords. Why? Why am I... Oh, underneath the deck is the Hangman. Okay, that's why. We're confused because this may feel like a punishment. And we're like, but I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to do. Why is this not working out the way that I asked? Why is this... What's happening? The Hangman is the card of... It's what happens right after justice, right? And the Hangman has to serve that sentence. So when we're dealing with, and the funny thing is that the Hangman has been coming up for the last few weeks, but he's been coming up in reverse the last few weeks. So this is us basically feeling like, I don't deserve this. Why am I getting this punishment? I've been doing everything right. I'm a great person. I've got these great intentions. You know, I want to do amazing things. And at the same time, why am I getting punished? Why am I getting punished for good deeds? Why am I getting punished for listening? Why am I getting punished for doing what it is that you asked me to do, universe? It's not a punishment. There's confusion here because because the circumstances are switching up. Our surroundings are switching up, and it's happening abruptly with this Eight of Wands right here. It's happening very abruptly, but why this is happening is to free us. Devil card in reverse. We are getting free. Don't we also have the we have the Eight of Swords down here. This is to free us. This is to free us from a situation that would have gone nowhere with this Ten of Swords in reverse. We're being freed from a situation that would have gone nowhere, you guys. Let's just see. I don't like that when two cards fall out, but what we did get is you are, embrace the magic of your being. And then we got clear quartz, clarity, healing, and endless possibilities. So if these resonate with you, then take those, but I'm going to keep shuffling because I don't like it when more than one card pops out. All right. And so we have here, look, universal love, choose love. This is what I'm saying. The universe is looking out for us, you guys. It's looking out for us. It has our highest and greatest good, and it even has our wants and desires at the forefront of its mind. It's just simply about trusting it. Trusting it. We're kind of like in the waiting room, in the lobby right now. This isn't... Don't let this scare you into thinking like this is what I'm getting out of this. No, this is not what you're getting out of this. You are not receiving your results right now. These are not your results. What is happening right now is not your results. That's the most important thing to take away from this general reading. What is happening right now are not your results, okay? Labradorite we have here that came out, wisdom, intuition, divination. So labradorite can be really good for this time, sleeping with some labradorite under the pillow. I personally do not like sleeping with labradorite under the pillow because it gets intense for me. That's another thing I wanted to ask you guys too, is how have your dreams been? My dreams have been crazy vivid. A lot of out-of-body experiences, a lot of lucid dreaming experiences. I would love to know in the comments what you guys' dreams have been like lately. Then we have here Pachamama, Mother Cosmos. Yeah, there is something that we don't see it yet. We don't understand what it is just yet. But don't get Don't get alarmed though either. Okay. And then we have last two cards, Sacred Sisterhood. Connect with your soul sisters to uplift and inspire each other. So find some sacred feminine energy that you can get close to. And it doesn't have to be a woman. It can be a man with feminine energy. Find somebody with some feminine energy to kind of get close to. Maybe this could even be working with a goddess or a deity that is feminine, and getting really close to that energy, or an ancestor that has a lot of feminine nurturing sort of energy maybe, and getting close to that energy. That the way you can start trusting in these shadow times and in these darker times. Because when we're dealing with the darkness, we're dealing with the feminine. We're dealing with the womb, the cosmic womb that is shrouded in darkness, right? And just like a woman's womb, and she's, you know, pregnant with a child, that womb is dark. It's really dark. So it's exactly the same thing we're dealing with spirituality. We're dealing with this dark, this very unsure time. And this is what's freaking a lot of us out. And then we have here Pele. It says here, goddess of volcano, creativity, change, protection. Protection. She's a very fierce energy too. And then we have here underneath the deck, black tourmaline, protection, recharging, and grounding, you guys. So maybe even working with some black tourmaline as well as labradorite will really come in to help with this time, because this is just such an unsure time. So let me just see what these oracle cards here are saying. For us collectively, what is coming? What is coming in? Okay, so we have courage. We've got courage. So we need some courage right now. But let me see what's coming in. Let me do shuffle to see what is coming in for us collectively. What is coming in for us collectively? What is coming? Can't stand it when more than one card pops out. We got 3 cards that pop out. So I'm going to show you guys, but I'm going to keep shuffling but I'm just going to show you guys for those of you that get mad at me when I when I put the cards back in, because I'm an intuitive reader. It doesn't feel right when more than one card pops out, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. So we have here flexibility. Then we have here adventures, which you need flexibility in order to go on an adventure. You know, you need to be sort of open to things. So we have here adventures. And then we have delight. Okay, let me keep shuffling. What is coming in for us collectively over the next 2 weeks? Okay, the way that these fell, this is definitely more than one card that fell out. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards fell out, but the way they all fell out face up. And they slid so that the way I could see all of these cards. And like I said, I'm an intuitive reader. This feels right. What we have here, the cards that fell out, is we have relaxation. We've got relaxation. Transformation, security, taking risks, and protection. Again, another card for protection. Underneath the deck, let me see what we have. Fulfillment. That is what we're being freed from, you guys. A lot of us were just in situations and scenarios and relationships where we were not fulfilled. We were not fulfilled. Like I talked about earlier in this video, it's that substance. Are you getting your nutrients? Yeah, you can survive off of a candy bar because it is food, but is it actually hurting your body or helping your body? Yes, it is technically food, but is it healthy for you? That is the thing that a lot of us were in these scenarios collectively. This is for all of us. I'm reading my own ass too right now. A lot of us were in scenarios where we were just doing it just to survive. We were doing it just so we wouldn't be alone. We were doing it just so that the way we could keep up. We were doing it just to do it. We were doing it mindlessly, blindly. We were just doing things just to do them. There wasn't a lot of reason behind it. Therefore, there wasn't a lot of nutrients or substance behind it. And this is what we're being freed from. We're being freed from things that were empty. We're being freed from relationships that were empty. Maybe you were always giving while the other person was always taking, and you were getting absolutely nothing out of it. The universe is coming here to free us from a lot of those situations where we are unfulfilled. So there's a huge transformation happening. Like I said, this is like a major exodus where the roads, they're going like this and they're splitting. They're splitting, and it's like we have to trust the universe enough to split us away from people, lifestyles, habits, substances, doesn't matter, whatever the hell it is. It could be a reality television show. We have to be able to trust in the universe enough to split us away from the things that don't work for us or that don't give us anything. They're actually depleting us, or we feel very empty, we feel very unfulfilled. We have to be willing to let go of these things. It's going to take courage though. It's going to take a lot of courage. And like I said, you guys, with this relaxation card right here, this is that brief moment of relief that I was talking about with this Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. We're going to get that brief moment of relief because of Jupiter, but Saturn's going to be right there talking about, okay, now it's time to get back to work. Now it is time to get back to work with transformation, taking risks, and security. Now it's time for us to get back to work. You know, don't get too comfortable. This is Saturn over here. Don't get too comfortable. Don't do that, because we still got work to do. And so, yeah, it's beautiful how the cards really went along with those with the astrological charts here. But yeah, you guys, this is what I'm seeing collectively. But I'm going to clear these cards. Well, first I'm going to get a shot of them for you guys. That way you can see the cards that I was looking at for the general reading. And then I'm going to get started with the meditation. That way you guys can select your pile. All right, and on pile 1, we have Azurite and Amalekite. On pile 2, we have Labradorite. And on pile 3, have another form of Azurite and Malachite. It's just a different color formation. All right, in pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what the next 2 weeks has in store for you, basically, and how this new moon and conjunction will be setting you up for the year 2021 ahead. Okay, so let's go on ahead and get started. So your very first tarot card that we have here is Strength. And the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, I just heard the word consolidation for you, pile 1. But give me a second. Let me look up the definition of this to see for sure what it means before I just start blabbering away. But there's something here for sure about paying debts, paying something off, as well as whatever consolidation means. So give me a second. Okay, consolidation, the definition here says the action or process of combining a number of financial accounts or funds into a single overall account or a set of accounts. Okay, so there's a lot of focus on money for some of you over the next couple of weeks. And the specific message that's coming through for that is simplifying the amount of money that's coming out of your account. So maybe like, let's just say, for example, you have like 5 different streaming services, right? Let's say you got the Netflix, the Hulu, the Amazon Prime, you got like 5 different streaming services, but you only faithfully watch or use 2 of them. Some advice that is coming through here is to cut down on what you can, because I believe for my pile ones, and I'll flip a couple of more cards for this message here, in particular for you, but I believe that some of you may be making some sort of a big purchase in 2021 that you're just not aware of yet. And this is what Sagittarius season does. It prepares us for the big picture that we cannot see unfolding. So some of you may be about to go into business for yourself, or maybe purchasing a home or a vehicle, expanding your family, making a big move, as well as too, the message keeps coming in that some of you will be paying off debt quite soon, or having it forgiven in some sense where it's no longer on your record. So there's a lot about finances coming through with your pile here. So when it comes to this new moon energy, this is what it's kicking off for many of my pile ones, is a big change up in finances and financial freedom, as well as preparing some of you for a major financial investment that is only for kind of some of you in this pile, though. That is for a little bit less of you in this pile, is like some sort of major financial investment coming in 2021. Another thing coming through with the Strength card is you may live with someone or work with someone that you are kind of on the outs with right now. So watch how you emotionally punish this person in a sense. I'm just getting my other cards. Just watch how you kind of emotionally punish this person, and punish feels like a really harsh word. But watch how you even the score, I should say, with this person. Watch how you neutralize the situation with them. For some of you, this person, they messed up. They had a weak moment and said something without thinking, and what they weren't ready for is the ice storm that is you, okay? Because what I'm picking up here is you've been dealing with this person by pulling away. You've been dealing with the Strength card energy or situation by pulling away, not speaking, not engaging with this person, and they may really be trying to get back on your good side. And if they haven't tried yet, then they will very soon, because they can't handle this like silent treatment or this ice storm the way that you can. And it's easy for you to pull away because your feelings are hurt, and it's easy for you to stay away because it's more peaceful not engaging with them. So you're handling them beautifully, pile one, and they're learning a lot without you saying anything. They're learning so much by you just being silent, and life for them is different without you joking around and smiling and having a good time with them. You icing them out is hard for them, but this is teaching them how to treat you and what you will and won't put up with. So this is a really good lesson here that they're learning. So you had some sort of change up that has completely freaked them out, because they are used to you responding and reacting and arguing back or getting under your skin, right? Especially with the Strength card right here. But the switch up has them feeling replaceable, or like you just don't need them anymore. But they're crawling back, tail tucked between their legs pretty soon. It looks like they're going to be crawling back to you with their tail tucked. Like, you know what? I am so sorry. Look at what just flipped out too. Judgment. I was just kind of like playing around with the cards. I wasn't actually trying to shuffle them. And yeah, this ended up coming out because I also wanted to shuffle for what I was talking about before this message came through about this person here. But yeah, the Judgment card came through. So again, this person is feeling like they're on thin ice. They're really feeling like, oh shit, you might be done with me, you know? They're just feeling like and also they're feeling like you are more consciously evolved than them, or more mature. Or like you just, there's this like feeling of, you know how you can make a man feel emasculated? It's kind of like that, but it could be a woman, it could be a female that you're dealing with, you know? But it's like this feeling of like somebody feeling, you making someone feel a bit inferior or something like that in a sense. Because they already see you as like the Strength card energy, just very regal. They see you as this judgment card energy too. Like when you get mad and that ice storm comes and you're just like, oh, like I'm closing the door on you right now. You need to go like basically sit in timeout and learn your lesson. And they feel that sting of like you not seeing them as a friend or an ally or a person that they want to be associated with because of their shenanigans, you know? So they do definitely feel like I gotta clean this up for sure. Yeah, and when they do come crawling back, pile one, let them grovel. Don't bite their heads off, you know? Because from what I'm seeing, they screwed up and they do owe you some sort of an apology. And depending on how you reacted, you may owe an apology for some things that you said in reaction to them as well. But either way, stay focused on what you got going on because it looks like something is preparing you for the next phase in your life, especially with this Eight of Pentacles right here. And another thing too is something about your pile seems a bit blind, like you were very focused on work. So kind of lift your head up, pile one, and take a day to see where you've come from. Take a moment to see all that you have done so far because you're a bit oblivious to it so far. You're a bit oblivious as to how much it is that you've accomplished. But guess who isn't? The people around you, especially whoever this person is. With the strength card right here, they are very aware of everything that you are working on or working towards, and they may feel a bit intimidated by you with the strength card, especially because oh yeah, I mentioned the fact that they feel like you don't need them anymore. They feel like you don't need them anymore. Like you'll be just fine, or they feel like you'll be just fine without them. Like they feel like they'd have a harder time without you in their life than you would have without them in your life, you know? And whether that's accurate or not, that's just what they're kind of afraid of in a sense. And so it scares them a little bit. So, you know, they're very aware of everything that you are working on or working towards, and they may feel a little bit intimidated by you because of that fact that you don't need them anymore. So that kind of scares them. But try to help them realize, if you find it necessary and if you find this relationship salvageable, try to help them see that you are working hard, not so that you can leave them behind, but so you can have or share a good life with them, because they don't feel involved in your future right now. They don't kind of feel like they are a part of your future right now. Okay, so let me just shuffle. To see what's going on with your finances, since that kind of came through very strongly in the beginning of your pile here. Four of Swords in reverse. Okay. Four of Swords in reverse. Oh, I guess you know what, that Judgment card could kind of go with what I was talking about earlier, like maybe consolidating or simplifying how much money you're spending. Like I said, like if you have like 5 different streaming services, like maybe cutting a couple of them out that you don't use really. And let's see. Eight of Wands. It kind of felt like this. So yeah, I think, and then we got 10 of Wands underneath the deck. So I think that maybe you're kind of handling a bit more than what you need to be handling right now. If you are living outside of your means, really look to minimize that. Look to minimize that right now, because like I said, I think a lot of my pile ones are being set up and at some point in 2021 to make a huge purchase that you're not seeing coming right now. Like you're not preparing for it right now. Oh, some of you, okay, so some of you may have taken on a different job or some extra work or started a side job, a side hustle, a business, something like that. And you've got a lot of extra money coming in. Maybe you got some sort of a settlement. Maybe, you know, maybe you're receiving more money than what you have before. And so you have a little bit extra money to kind of spend right now. But actually take this time to save what you can, because like I said, I see in 2021 very many of my pile ones having to make a big purchase that you don't see coming yet, and you don't want this to overwhelm you, because right now you're actually doing pretty good. It's actually kind of up to you how it is that you want to really spend your money, because you're living inside your means, you know. But when this big purchase becomes necessary, or when you see that thing that you really want, it could strain you a little bit if you're living outside of your means, okay? So let's see, another thing that we were talking about was that relationship with this person in the Strength card. And so we have here the Eight of Cups, Four of Swords in reverse, Judgment, the Eight of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. I feel like some of you are dealing with someone that's kind of like a lazy communicator with this Four of Swords in reverse. I don't exactly even know myself what that actually means. But I feel like they just, whoever this is, they don't necessarily think before they talk. They just don't. And they stick their foot in their mouth all the time. And then it's like, then you kind of come in and you're just like, they're used to you, like I said, they're used to you responding and kind of arguing back, and that's what they've sort of grown accustomed to. But you've changed it up on them where you're just like Eight of Cupsing the situation, and you're just like, I'm out. But they're really kind of used to you doing this whole Eight of Wands or the Strength, where it's like you come at them heavy, you come at them rapid fire, they can't handle it. But there's something about them that your reaction makes them feel safer than you being silent. You being silent scares the hell out of them for some reason. This Four of Swords is in reverse because it's terrifying for them for you to not respond. It's just, there's something that they're really worried about. They're worried that you're just going to give them the official like axe and like be like, just get out of my life. They're a bit worried about that pile one. So like I said, don't rip their heads off when they do come crawling back to you. Don't rip their heads off. Try to kind of be patient with them if you can. But, I understand. I get it. People like that they can really just get on your nerves. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out your oracle cards here. See what you've got going on. So we have here Saturn, Truth. Interesting. Then we have Taurus, I have. And then we have Cancer, I feel. Okay. So you may be Taurus, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or have a lot of Taurus and Cancer placements or transits. But Taurus and Cancer have two very similar qualities, and that is that they value security. They need security to feel content. Aquarius energy is coming through as well for your pile right now too. So you may be an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, but 2021 keeps coming through in your reading as the start of something. So the next 2 weeks with the new moon and the conjunction, you're being set up by the universe in a sense, where much of your focus in 2021 will be about material. With this Taurus I have card right here, it'll be about material security. With the Cancer card, I feel, because Cancer is all about security. It rules the fourth house and it's ruled by the moon. The moon is all about the internal essence of the self that has to feel secure and safe in order for it to be able to express itself, right? And so, a lot of your focus, like I said, will be about this material security and being the sole contributor to that security besides your spiritual team, of course. You got to give your spiritual team credit. But they're opening doors for you so that you can be the one to make the security happen for yourself with the Saturn Truth card right here. And that's why things have been so rough on you, because of Saturn's involvement. Saturn was tasked with teaching you through difficulties and failures this year to toughen you up, because you've got a major turning point happening for you in 2021, and you need to be prepared and you need to feel confident enough to handle things on your own. You needed to be able to see that you can make your own security. There's also a parent figure coming through for some of you that may try to help you with finances. They may offer to help you. I can definitely see you turning them down though, and saying like, no, I want to do this on my own. May have like a parental figure that comes through and tries to offer some sort of financial support or help, and they may be giving you a nice sum of money for the holidays or to help you get on your feet. But once you get going though, you'll know how to sort of support yourself. You'll know how to keep it going, right? And then your animal card that we have here is Swan. Yeah, okay. This kind of goes with what I was saying earlier. So this is grace and gracefulness, pile one. This is very majestic energy for you. So like I said, you're stepping up to the plate and handling things that you may not have had the means to before, or you may have needed help with something like this before, but you are going to need less and less assistance in 2021. And that's what a lot of this new moon and conjunction energy is setting you up for, is it's just completely setting you up for, just needing less help in order to secure yourself financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. So especially with this Cancer card right here, there's a lot of emotional security coming in as well. Like I said, where you're good on your own. You're like this, you can be this like ice king or ice queen sometimes, where you just sort of shut out what is not good for you. It's very easy for you to do in a sense. And then let's see, let me just get a couple more oracle cards for you. Any additional messages for my pile ones? A lot of cards. Oh, one fell out. Very first card that we have is patience, pile one. A little bit of patience that needs to come through. It could be with that person that you're dealing with, that, like I said, they stick their foot in their mouths a lot. Using patience with them. Or patience in terms of developing your own security, you know? Don't rush yourself, because you're really getting set up in 2021 to be able to, like I said, have complete security over yourself. There's too many cards that fell out. Get one extra one for you. Then we have solitude. Yeah, so this is kind of just you cutting whoever that is off that's just causing a little bit of issues for you. You're getting really good at being able to not be affected by whoever or whatever the situation is. You're getting very, very good at just kind of like blowing it off and being like, listen, like, you're not getting my energy anymore. Like, you're cut off from my energy. Like, that may be what you're Xing them out with. Like, icing them out with is like your energy, where they just literally cannot detect or feel your energy, because you sort of close that door. When they misbehave, when they do something where it's just like, no, you're not going to get away with that. I don't appreciate that. And then underneath the deck here, we have potential. So yeah, there is a lot of potential coming through with the situation, coming through for you with this relationship or person, especially when it comes to your financial security. You guys, you have a lot going on in terms of finances in the year coming up here, 2021, which is really, really awesome. So yeah, this is all that I'm seeing over your next 2 weeks here. You guys really getting set up financially, really securing yourself emotionally. That the way you're not as affected and as phased by whatever this is that used to really get under your skin. I'm seeing you kind of boss up when it comes to that. So yeah, this is all I'm seeing, pile one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But you guys, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, you guys. Hello, pile two, and welcome to your reading. So we are starting off with the tarot cards before getting to the oracle cards to see what is up and what is happening with your next 2 weeks, given this new moon and this conjunction and this bang of a year closing out with 2020. Let's see how you're going to be bringing in your 2021, what energy you're going to be bringing in 2021 with. So let's start off. The very first tarot card that we have here is the King of, is this the King or the Knight? Yeah, King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have here the Seven of Wands. Okay. Interesting. Pile two. Okay, so this is interesting. I just had a little bit of a chit chat about the Suit of Wands and how basically in the Suit of Wands, there's this like chronic issue that is being dealt with, because in the Suit of Wands, every time he defeats someone, he thinks he's like won the war, but he's actually only won one battle in a greater war. So there's this like recurring issue that sort of adapts, and every time he deals with this issue, it's a little different. It's like it evolves or gets smarter, almost like it's learning its opponent, right? And the King of Pentacles in reverse isn't sitting as securely on his throne when he is in reverse. There's too much of a focus on defending one's self and or survival. You are lowering yourself by engaging with someone that is hateful or is trying to upset you. You need to take the next 2 weeks to have an emotional detox, in a sense, where you simply do not engage with anyone that is clearly just trying to get under your skin. Pile two. Let's take, for example, that you're trying to start your own restaurant or something. I don't know, just an example. Let's say you're trying to get into the culinary business or something. Constructive criticism would be, oh, try less salt next time. A hater would say something like, the plate that you serve the food on is hideous. I don't know, but it would just be something that it has nothing to do with the food or your culinary skills or your technique or your service. A hater just wants to take the time or the moment or the opportunity to put you down because they know that you are good at what you do and they know that you've been called to do it. Do not lower yourself by engaging. You would never catch the King of Wands in the same situation as the Seven of Wands. He has an army. The King of Wands has an army and advisors and generals and security to deal with the little people in the Seven of Wands here. Stay focused on what you have going on, pile 2, because you are the King of Pentacles. Okay, the King of Pentacles is here, and he might be in reverse, but he is here, meaning that you have this regal energy to you that people love to try and tear down. Because in a sense, you're not really humanized to a lot of people. They can just sense this sort of important aura or presence within you. It's like they can sense something in you where they just kind of feel like you can take these little jabs and you can take these remarks and you can take these comments and opinions and things like that. They just think that of you. So it's like they don't humanize you. And so a hater will just throw whatever they want your way because of the simple fact that, like I said, one, they don't necessarily see you as a person. And there's a lot of jealousy wrapped around this too. There's a lot of, when we're dealing with the Seven of Wands, we're dealing with straight jealousy. Some of you in this pile are also involved maybe in the public somehow, where you have to surrender your work to the masses, or maybe you own a business where you provide a service or a product, I want to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I just grabbed my other deck because I just want to pull a clarifier just to see what this could be for you guys. But yeah, this is as well, for some reason, also coming through as in-laws. Feeling like your boyfriend or your girlfriend's family doesn't like you or have the right idea about you. Either way, pile 2, listen, not every single one of these wands in the Seven of Wands needs to be addressed. Not every comment needs to be addressed. Not every opinion or judgment needs to be defended. Get like customer service or representative, or get your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend to handle their family, to deal with their side of the family. That they're the common denominator. That's their issue, not yours. Whatever this issue is, it is beneath you. It is not meant for you to kind of get your hands dirty to deal with it. It's not meant for you to deal with it. Let me see, what is this? This is for pile 2. Okay, we've got Death in reverse, Five of Cups in reverse. I kind of feel like with this Death card in reverse, you may feel as though people are trying to turn you into something that you're not. You may feel like people are putting words in your mouth, making up things about you. So sorry, you guys. I hadn't noticed that my memory card filled up, and so my camera stopped recording for a couple of minutes before I noticed it. And I'm not sure what I said, but the King of Wands and the Tower card ended up jumping out, and this is where the footage picks back up. What's coming through for you, pile 2, as well, is to choose wisely over the next couple of weeks what it is that you want to focus on. Look at that. We have the Two of Wands, we have the Five of Cups, we have Death card, King of Wands, Seven of Wands right here. All these cards talk about focus in some way. And the Five of Cups, all he notices are the 3 cups that have fallen down. He doesn't recognize the Two of Cups standing behind him. What the people in the Death card don't understand is that this isn't an ending. This is another beginning. This is the ending to one phase and the beginning of a new phase. They don't see the sun rising in between these two pillars, this gateway over here. The King of Wands is very focused. He's very focused energy. He's looking towards one direction, completely negating the other direction. Two of Wands is again focused on what they are looking at. Same thing with the Seven of Wands. He's focused on these 6 wands attacking him. The only thing that is not really focusing on one thing is the Tower, because they don't have time to focus. They don't have time to focus. They're too much in survivor's mode. But this is the thing. With this Tower card in reverse right here, this is telling me that you're no longer in survival mode. Pile 2, you don't have to survive this situation. This situation is not a threat. So go on a mental and emotional detox where you literally prohibit yourself for at least 2 weeks from responding or defending yourself or arguing back or extending yourself in a way that is not necessary. Spirit wants to come to your defense in some sort of scenario here, pile 2. Some of you as well will be given an even bigger platform or a higher position in the next few months, because I heard the word months. So this is another reason why Spirit wants to show you how to deal with this type of energy or situation. Some of you as well, I just heard it, are possibly trying to fight for your company or your business or something that you may have started with someone else. You guys may have had a falling out or may have decided to go your separate ways. If you got out of that business with that person, You may be kind of fighting them right now to try and hold on to what it is that you contributed to or what it is that you worked for. When you're getting even more attention or power, it's going to be important for you to learn how to delegate what it is that you put your attention into. And this is how you deal with hate, pile 2. Some of you have a purpose or a job that will have you in the public, which is why some of you don't want to pursue this purpose or this job, because you don't feel like dealing with this type of energy, the 7 of Wands type of energy. And for those of you anticipating what reaction that you're going to get from others if you pursue a career or a business or an idea, work on your masculine energy. That's coming through very strongly for you, to work on your masculine energy. Masculine energy, yang energy, has so much assurance that it doesn't even recognize outside noise. It doesn't even pay attention to it. It's too self-involved to be that considerate. You need a dose of kind of self-involvement in a sense. Spirit wants you to reel back in right now. Become more self-involved in a headspace that's like, damn, I'm amazing. This is a great idea. Like, really talk to yourself, pump yourself up, act as though you are the only opinion that matters, because you are the only opinion that matters. Like I said, this is not an actual threat. It's impersonating a threat, but it's not an actual threat to you. Okay. So, pump yourself up, then stand behind what it is that you're telling yourself by moving forward with what you want to do, and move forward with that masculine yang energy. It's really important for my pile 2s because, there's something here that it's not even a threat. It's just intimidated by you because you have a lot of alpha energy in you. And maybe you haven't necessarily tapped into that alpha energy, but it's there. And people are very intimidated by you. They might not tell you, but they are. Okay, your oracle cards that we have here is fire element, desire. Then we have Libra, I balance. Then we have Neptune, sacrifice. And Chiron, healing. Okay. So fire element here. There's a vision or a dream calling out to you, like I mentioned earlier, where you do actually desire something, but you're a bit conflicted on if you should pursue it or not. So you may be a little reluctant or worried or nervous or scared, even excited, but you are definitely drawn to this. You're just not attracted to everyone else's 2 cents. But this is because you have a lot of Libra energy around you as well. With this Libra balance card right here, where you are a natural diplomat. You aim to please and to be of service with this Neptune sacrifice, or at least you don't mind it. But you are being healed of feeling the need to be of service to everyone, because not everyone deserves your service, pile 2. Not everyone deserves your niceness or your kindness, pile 2. Not everyone deserves you, or your attention or your focus, like we were talking about. But if you have Libra Pisces energy in your chart, it can be a bit difficult to ignore these other wands and opinions. But working with this masculine energy can help balance how much of yourself you feel that you need to give. Okay. And your animal spirit card here is elephant. This feels like very strong energy, very yang energy. Elephants, they don't, if anything's in their way, they're just going to obliterate it. You know what I mean? This is how you need to walk like an elephant. You need to walk like you don't have any sort of care about what is in your way. And I know that sounds very strange, especially because many of us are raised to be, nice and considerate. But you need less consideration. There we go. It's a perfect way to say it. You need less consideration. Not everybody deserves your consideration, pile 2. This is what you're kind of working on over the next couple of weeks. I told you for sure, you're having people pushed out of the way. Spirit is pushing people out of your way. You have this very strong elephant energy presence behind you, and this is very forceful energy. So you're not going to have to worry about this much longer. Whatever this is, work, business, your in-laws, a relationship, people, opinions, this type of situation is coming to some sort of like climatic ending, in a sense, where it's just like, all of a sudden one day, boom, it vanishes and it's no longer an issue. That's what I'm picking up with you. Let me get a couple of more oracle cards for you guys. Close out your reading. Just a couple of cards. Keep going. So we have here enlightenment. So this is something that you're learning. Like I said, there's something that you're being prepared for something that's coming in 2021, something pretty big in 2021, where you're really going to have a lot more emotional control over yourself. And so this is why you're going to be experiencing this. This is why the kind of like the final 2 weeks of 2021 will sort of set you up in a way where you kind of develop that like tough, thick skin in a sense. Or it's not even thick skin. You just develop this way of not giving a shit anymore. It's just like you're going to get pushed to this point where you're just like, listen, I'm a really nice person. You got me messed up. And you just like out of nowhere just kind of stop caring. And then we have wisdom. Yeah, so you're definitely learning something from this situation. I didn't even know that this card was in this deck, actually. You're actually learning something from this situation. This looks like a lot of Aquarius energy, too, here. So you may have some Aquarius energy. There's something really sticking out about this mermaid. Yeah, for sure you guys are... Yeah, look, we have change underneath the deck. This is going to be something that out of nowhere, it doesn't matter anymore. It literally just does not matter anymore. But this is something that you really need to learn because, like I said, these final 2 weeks are preparing you for some really big change in 2021 where you take on a lot more than you ever have before. But it's going to require you to have a lot more emotional discipline and a lot more mental discipline and a lot more discipline when it comes to your focus. So that the way you are not investing in every opinion and in every sort of argument or conversation or person, because not everyone deserves your consideration, pile 2. So yes, pile 2, this is all that I am saying. Whatever it is that you feel is necessary to do, go through with it. Whatever it is that you desire, go for it because it is meant for you. Even though you're kind of anticipating some messiness around a certain situation or just something extra that you don't feel like adding to your plate or your responsibilities right now, is not going to be nearly what you think it's going to be. Do not worry about it. It's taken care of. You have this very strong energy behind you. But this is all that I'm saying for my pile 2s. You guys, please go through with what you want to do because you are taken care of. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. Please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting with your tarot before getting to the oracle cards to see what the next 2 weeks kind of has in store for you, to see how you're going to be bringing in the year of 2021 and what energy you'll be bringing in 2021 with. So let's go ahead and get started. Very first card that we have here is, a look at that, 6 of Wands. That's 6 of Wands. And then the, oh, wow. Wow. And then we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. Okay, starting out with a bang. You are in for a win, pile 3. So this could be a person, but this feels like a very stagnant situation that has been in your way for a long time. Months, maybe even years for some of you. This is being resolved. This is roads being cleared for you as well. And this new moon and major conjunction is clearing out resistance for you. And the 6 of Wands is ruled by Leo and Jupiter, right? The 5 of Swords is ruled by Aquarius and Venus, I think. But yeah, 6 of Wands is ruled by Leo and Jupiter, right? There's a big presence working through your life right now, pile 3. And I wish I could say it's because of something specific, but it just looks like it's your time. There's pieces coming together for you right now because of divine timing. So this is what it will look like for you when you know divine timing is knocking at your door. And what it'll look like is issues sort of coming up out of nowhere and then miraculously being worked out. So let's say, for example, you're planning to move and you've got all this money saved up, and out of nowhere, the AC in your car goes out, right? And a chunk of your saving gets spent on fixing your car. So this is a random check showing up in the mail, or like a surprise bonus from work, or someone helping you out financially out of nowhere, so that money that went towards that car gets replaced. It's these issues that come out of nowhere and get resolved just as quickly as they come in. And this is how you know that divine timing is working for you, because problems start getting solved with little to no effort from you. And that's what this new moon in conjunction is setting off for you. Before you can even get concerned or worried or upset or sad or frustrated, boom, it's already figured out. It just already gets solved. This is crazy. I already need a clarifier here. Camera got turned around, you guys. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, this is really good energy to bring in 2021 with. But yeah, I also see you kind of winning someone over, pile 3. I also see you winning someone over. We've got the High Priestess fell out like this. So we have the High Priestess here. Wheel of Fortune came out in reverse. Yeah. So this is like that Wheel of Fortune in reverse is saying to me, Wheel of Fortune is also ruled by Jupiter, I believe. But the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is saying to me that there's something that's like being reversed. You've got fate or fortune that is being reversed because it wasn't working out before. Let's see what else we get. We've got King of Cups. This is good energy. Very good energy. Let's see what else we have. Other energy are we getting? Five of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I mean, it's just very clear that this is, the Wheel of Fortune could also be talking about too, some past kind of issues getting solved. And then we have Queen of Wands underneath the deck. So with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, this is a reversal of your fate, because it was kind of, there was something that was just, like I said, it was stagnant before, right? And it needed to be unrooted in a sense. And so I think that with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse here, there's some sort of effects or some sort of situation that's being undone in your life, that the way you can get out of it, you can finally kind of close it out. But this is definitely divine timing with the High Priestess card right here. And the Five of Wands in reverse is saying, again, you winning over whatever this adversary may be. And this King of Cups for me is also saying too, if you notice in this card, he's like sitting above these waters that are kind of rocky. It's like he's sitting above these troubled waters. So it's just like you winning at something. You being in a position where it's just like, it works out. It just works out. It's like there just so happens to be a chair in the middle of the ocean for the King of Cups to sit on comfortably. You know, even though the wave is it's really chaotic maybe, but it just so happens for you, right where you're sitting or standing, that it's calm and you're able to not be affected or touched by these turbulent waters or waves or whatever the case. Like I said before too, I also see you winning someone over, someone that may have had a tough stance against you, actually warming up to you now, or you getting them on your side. So again, this is little to no effort from you, but there's this atmosphere being set up in your favor. You may have picked another pile as well. I won't say which one, but it almost had an opposite reading to your pile, except, oh my God, of course. Okay, there's some of you if you pick that pile and you take the advice given to you in that pile within the next 2 weeks, everything will turn around in your favor. But that advice is really important. And like I said, I won't say which pile it is, but if you do take that advice, everything's turning around for you in your favor in the next couple of weeks. There's also some unexpected good news that'll be hitting you guys up in the next couple of weeks. So pay attention to your phone calls, your voicemails, and your emails specifically, because this good news is really easy to miss because, like I said, you're not expecting it. What it is here is that like you're so used to things working against you with this Wheel of Fortune, this Five of Wands in reverse, this Five of Swords in reverse. You're so used to things working against you that it's almost like beat you down in a sense where you're just expecting things to not work out. So this is very unexpected for you. So some of you are just waiting to get told no or to get rejected, but even your expectations, your fears, and your lack of faith cannot get in the way of this because it is simply the right time for you to succeed or win. And I'm really excited for you guys because this feels like a major win for you. And many of you have been fighting this for a while. So the fact that there's closure coming to the situation, I am really curious about where this conjunction is happening and which house it's happening in for your chart. For some of you, I'm feeling like this conjunction is happening in your 7th house. This new moon in this conjunction, either it's happening in your 7th house, your 4th house, 1st house, or 12th house, or 10th. It depends on what house Aquarius rules in your chart and what house Sagittarius rules in your chart. But I feel like this new moon or conjunction is happening in either one of those houses. And now I just completely forgot which houses I just said. But definitely 1st, 4th, 7th, 12th, 10th or 2nd, maybe even the 8th house, you guys. Maybe even the 8th house. Like I said, there's just a major closure that's happening here. And this has been a long time coming. This is going to be such a sigh of relief for you. Such a sigh of relief. With all this Jupiter energy happening, this is going to be such a sigh of relief for you. Let's take a look at your oracle cards. Okay. We have very first card, Earth Element Stability. Yep. Then we have 5th house, Creativity. Okay. Then we have Part of Fortune, Increase. Yeah, exactly. Then we have Air Element, Communicating. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Read that one in a second. So Earth Element Stability, look at that. Look at what's coming through for you. This is what's happening, is stability is coming through for you, pile 3. It is a sense of finally this chapter is behind me. There is some closure here. It's time for me to move on. I can finally move on and slay the next chapter or giant or goal. Or you can just simply take your time right now to celebrate this, pile 3, because it is a really big moment for you. This is a moment for you. And another thing that's being stabilized is your creativity and your creative expression. So this could definitely be something that you've been waiting to get off the ground that takes off for you with this Part of Fortune Increase and this 5th house Creativity and this Earth Element Stability card here. Or this is possibly like a brand deal, some sort of an endorsement. I just heard possibly coming through for you. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. Definitely, for sure, please check your voicemails and your emails, like the spam folder and things like that, because you may not notice this opportunity or this win just sitting waiting for you to notice it or to claim it or to take it, especially with this Air Element Communication card right here. As well as too, what I'm hearing, pile 3, is to just try a little bit, all you have to do is just try a little bit. Let's say that you are like applying for a job or whatever, right? And it's like a job that you really want. You go in for the interview and maybe you feel like the interview isn't going that great. Really try to talk to them. And like I said, you may be expecting to hear a no or to get rejected. Try just a little bit. Even though you don't believe that this can happen for you, just try it. With this Air Element Communicating right here, because by you maybe telling your story or talking to them, telling them why you're interested in the job, what you can bring to the job, something like that, you just talking a little bit and getting them to warm up to you just a little. Oh, I did mention that a few minutes ago in your card. This is you winning someone over. You've got a charm here. Work it. Because you can actually sell yourself into a situation that you're thinking is already stacked against you, but it's not. It's so not. It is so just there for you. This is divine timing more than anything. So even if you were just like completely down on yourself, not thinking that this is going to happen, this is going to happen because it's just the time for it. But the main difference in this door opening for you may be just you simply communicating. You might not even need to sell yourself. Just talk to them and be like, you know what? Like, how are you and your family getting through 2020 or the pandemic or whatever? Something like that. Just kind of warm them up to you, get them to open up to you a little bit. And before you know it, they're just going to be like, you know what? Yes, we want you here because you're very personable or you're very likable or you seem very charismatic or something like that. There's something here where communication is your strong point and your personality with this 5th house Creativity. Your personality and the way that you communicate is a strong point. It's a selling point. You're very likable. Okay. So you can really turn a situation around, but your fortune for sure is taking a huge turn for the good, pile 3. And I think it was always working out for you. But like I said, the timing wasn't on your side before like it is now. This is the crazy thing is nothing can stop time. Time is God. I've always seen God as time. Time is God in a sense. And like I said, things will fall into place and work out just fine for you in the next couple of weeks, which will set much of the precedence for you in 2021. 2021. So your 2021 is getting started now for a lot of you in this pile. Some of you are so nervous about this working out, whatever it may be, because you would love for it to happen. You just don't believe it. And you absolutely do not have to worry about this. It is just simply your time. There's no other way to put it. You've also got some sort of attention or recognition coming towards you, and not for what you think either, pile 3. It's good. It's good attention. It's good recognition. But you have these 2 Leo cards right here. 6 of Wands in the 5th house card. So there's a lot of Leo energy coming through. There's some sort of attention coming in here. It's good attention. It's positive attention, but it's not going to be for what you think it is. Okay. And your final card here that we have is the Earthworm card. Okay. Hold on, you guys. Give me a second, because I don't really remember what the Earthworm card energy was about. Oh, wow. Look at this. It says shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. I'm just going to read this little paragraph for you guys, because I feel like it might be meant for you to really hear this. It says, we have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Like I was saying, sell yourself a little bit. Okay, and it says, others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or to lose hope. Yeah, oh wow. And it says mastery takes time and you are on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. That's so true, so true. And it says when in balance, it's earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, it's very self-conscious, apprehensive, and to bring into balance, speak up, wow, and risk embarrassment. Exactly what was coming through for you guys earlier. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. And then we have the 5th house creativity card here. So don't doubt yourself, pile 3. Sell yourself a little bit. But like I said, not even your insecurities or fears can get in the way of this. But you'll have this very humble energy to you that's expecting to get rejected or told no, because it's what you've gotten so used to. But your fortune is changing, pile 3, for sure. So it's okay for you to walk around like the man or the woman now, because things are just going to start falling into place, especially after this major conjunction. But many of you will be getting confirmation quite soon, pile 3. You'll be getting, let's go back to that example. You'll be getting confirmation very soon. Like, hey, you know what? We loved your energy. We'd love to have you a part of the team. Hopefully you can accept the job. Whatever this is that you're expecting to get told no, trust. Trust. Have a little bit of trust, pile 3. Let's see what else. I'm being called to get 3 cards for you. So let me see. Then we have thriving. See? Let me get one more. Release flipped over as I was shuffling it. And then underneath the deck we have fulfillment. So this is definitely going to, this is going to be so fulfilling for you. And release is what I'm picking up here. It's just like release your doubts and your worries. You really don't have to worry. As well as too, with this release card, what I'm picking up is after you get this confirmation that everything worked out and it's actually a yes, it's not the no that you were expecting, there's just going to be this huge sigh of relief for you, where you might just cry like out of nowhere, just so much gratitude, like, oh my God, like you're just genuinely not going to be able to believe this. And there's going to be just this feeling of, I don't have to worry about this anymore. So pile 3, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Looks like you're bringing in 2021 with some really beautiful energy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you love, support, clarity, strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.